Hi there and welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. I'm IceMan and today we're going to do an update guide or take a look at the new update highlights, I should say. Update 4.20 coming next week, and they've just sprung the update highlights for us, so I thought I'd read through them all with you guys, talk about them, talk about what we think is good, talk about what we think is bad, and by all means please get involved, let me know what you think in the comments. I'm really interested. And yeah, let's get into it, shall we? So, update 4.20. Hi everyone, spring's been generous thus far and is raining updates still. Yada yada yada. Yeah, we all
Yada yada yada. Just some bad egg salad. I'll be right back.
know that stuff. So 4.20 has some significant additions to show off. New dungeon stages. We've all heard about this in recent days. A major void champion balance patch. AI fixes and new champions. You'll see the details of the new champions in a few days. They're not out yet. Check out the highlights below to learn more. So let's take a look at it, shall we? So new dungeon stages. It's simple, pleasant. All dungeons excluding the Minotaur, Labyrinth and the Affinity Keeps are going to get an extra 5 stages. We all have seen the posts and videos and stuff on what the new affinities are going to be. That's all good. I'm happy with all of that. Obviously it means you've got to rework your teams and try different teams and stuff, which is good. That makes the game interesting. That's not a bad thing. Here's where it gets interesting. So artifact dungeon bosses on new stages will have additional passive skills. One will limit turn meter decrease, the other will limit the damage they take from attacks that scale based on target's max HP. No more than 10% of the HP will be lost. With that in mind, even tried and tested strategies might need to be adjusted when you venture into the new stages, and don't forget that even basic enemies on the new stages will be stronger. As you'd expect, rewards will scale up as well to match a greater challenge. So, we've all been talking about it. Let's face it, most of us really don't like this one, and Plarium, I know you're not paying attention to us content creators, please do. We're speaking on behalf of the player base. We're players ourselves that want to see the game continue. Many of the content creators spend money on the game, and we actually therefore want to see our investment paid back and keep going. We don't want you to kill the game off, which at the end of the day, if you do this, you are likely to do so. There are already huge numbers of players on the fence about leaving. Something like this, where you've just told them that all their enemy max HP champions are now null and void and basically crap and not going to do them any good, all that time that they've invested into them, all the energy, money in many cases to pull them, gear them out, book them, so forth, is now a complete waste. And it's ridiculous. Let's face it, these champions don't do anything else. They're there to take on bosses, that's what they do, and now you're nerfing them against the bosses. It kind of makes them pointless in the game. You might as well take them out of the game. Yeah, we've all told you it. Everybody's telling you it. If you look at any of the comment sections on any of the videos for the comment creators on this subject, nobody is saying this is a good thing. Everybody agrees that it's a bad thing. That tells you something. Do not do this. It may be too late to change it at this stage, but hurry up and work in a fix and remove that. Just remove it. It doesn't need doing. How Haley suggested a similar thing where you could maybe cap it for commons, uncommons even, cap it slightly higher for the rares, cap it even higher for the epics, and even higher still for the legendaries. That's one way of doing it. Personally, I think just take it away, don't bother with it. You know, these champions are there to help us get through it quick, and if we've invested the time and money into them, it's all they do, it's what they're designed to do. So don't just nerf them, it is pointless. Anyway, let's this is our message to Plarium, this is our plea to Plarium. Please join in with me on this one. Don't do this, you're going to kill the game. So many people will leave because of this. I myself would actually seriously consider leaving this game because of this move. It is a terrible move. This game takes too many hours in a day to play as it is, and many of us don't have time for it. You want us spending money on the game, you want us playing the game, give us a reason to. Don't give us reasons not to. Anyway, so the next bit, Void Champion rebalance. We've gone through our Void Champion roster and made a number of significant changes to ensure they perform better in battles. Most of these changes are buffs. Those skills were reworked. So that's a good thing. First up, we have Visix the Unbowed. Flanged Mace, her A1, has an 80% chance to decrease the target's turn meter by 15%, up from 10%. That's huge. That is brilliant. That makes her a lot more viable in many places. So that's great. Sinister Allies, skill redesign, no longer places a shield buff on herself and will instead place a 50% ally protection buff on all allies for 2 turns. Again, huge. It means that she's bringing something to the team rather than just being a selfish champ. Again, good move. Really like that one. Single combat, skill redesigned, attacks all enemies up from 1, which again is good. Places a provoke debuff on them for 1 turn, places a shield buff on this champion equal to 20% of her max HP. So she now provokes an entire team. That is great. This now makes this champion actually half decent. Whirlem, I think they've actually not really done enough with this chap here, but you know, let me know what you think. Winds of Winter effect added, places a veil buff on the ally with the lowest HP for 1 turn if the target resisted the freeze debuff. Additionally, the duration of the perfect veil, which is placed if the freeze debuff is applied, has been increased to 2 turns. It's good, but it's not amazing. Alright, it does mean you get something even if you miss. Fine. I would like to have seen them maybe up his damage a little bit or something as well. Frostbite Blast effect added, place a 50% decrease accuracy debuff alongside the 30% decrease quick damage debuff. These debuffs cannot be resisted. It's good. It does make it more viable for the Doom Tower. Let's face it, accuracy is a huge one there. So decreased accuracy now makes him viable for the Doom Tower, which synergizes with his new aura, which we'll get to in a second. So I do like that, but I still think he could have been a really cool champion in the arena, again, if you just made a few slight changes. But Whirling Frost King, so the ice armor down to 5 from 6, great. Aura increases allied defense by 40% in the Doom Tower battles. Previously increased defense by 30% in arena battles. So he's now Doom Tower champion, great. Synergizes with the other bits in his kit. I still think they could have done a bit more with him, but we'll see. Solus base stats are changed on this guy. Speed increase to 97 from 87. That's huge. Plarium, if you're listening, please do the same with Robar. He really needs a legendary speed, not a common speed. And if you do that for him, he'll get a lot more play than he currently does. Defense increased to 120, up from 105. Attack decreased to 70, down from 85. I'm not sure what his attack is, whether or not he's an attack-based champion or a defense champion or whatever. I think he's probably a defense champion, so that's probably all good. Wave of Despair and Reign of Terror multipliers slightly decreased to fit the changes to his defense stat. Okay. Next up we have Exemplar, High Stance Ascended, effect added. If the first hit is critical, it will increase one of the target's skills cooldown chosen at random by 2 turns. If the target is already under a weakened debuff, however, at the time, it will increase a skill cooldown to maximum of this random cooldown skill. So it's alright, it's not brilliant, it's still, I mean, I know it's an epic kit, but it's still kind of very odd and situational. You know, you don't know what's going to be cooled down. It's a single hit on a single target sort of thing. I don't think it's great still, personally. Pincer attack, buff chance increased to 75 up from 50, so that's good. Capture cooldown decreased to 4 turns, down from 5, so again, that's good. Rowan, Blade Surge, debuff chance increased to 75% up from 50, so that's really solid. Terran Titan, shield splitter damage will be based on HP. I'm guessing he's already one of those HP champions that they should have sorted out, so he was doing HP on all his stuff anyway, so that's good. Flailing Assault, damage will be based on HP, attacks 4 times at random, places a provoke debuff on the first hit, has an additional 50% chance to place a provoke debuff on subsequent hits, which is cool. So he automatically places a provoke on somebody with this 4 times at random, and then he's got a 50% chance on each subsequent hit after that. Bullish Vitality, shield duration increased to 3 turns when ascended. this skill will grant this champion an extra turn. So that's pretty cool. It makes Terran a bit more viable. Utter Rampage, skill reworked, attacks all enemies and has a 75% chance of placing a 50% decreased attack debuff cooldown for 4 turns. Decreased attack's not a huge one for me, but it's an AoE hit, so that's pretty cool. Skill upgrades, so they've changed what happens there. So it changes the buff chance and everything, so you can get that up to 100. Cooldown by 1. And then deadened reactions, cooldown decreased to 4 turns, down from 5. Again, that's solid. Broadmoor, hail, debuff chance increased from 35 to 35%, up from 25%. Again, it's okay, it's nothing amazing, but it's still good. Gift ascended, effect added, filled the turn meters of all allies by 15%. That is definitely very solid for him. I like that. Resurrect, cooldown decreased to 6 turns, down from 7. Again, huge, big, really helps. And then obviously I think that can book down a little bit more anyway, so but yeah, that definitely is a big help. Aura increases allied defense by 33% in faction war grips, which is really the main place you're going to want to use this guy anyway, so that's solid. Bird Elf Fellhammer, however you pronounce it. Base stats, defense increased, HP slightly decreased, and Sorcelled Axe skill upgrade adjusted. So we'll take a look at this. Right, so in Sorcelled Axe skill upgrade adjusted, damage 10%. Okay, so I see what they've done here. So in Sorcelled Axe, previously the damage went up by 10, but just with 5 and 5, so they've just joined that together, and the debuff chance was 5 and 5, so only 10. So now, rather than being able to book it up by 10%, you can book it up by 30%. Having said that, it's still for heal reduction, which it's alright, I suppose. It's useful for the one place it's mainly useful for, on Fire Knight, but other than that, it's not an ability I'm a huge fan of. Fade Protection, effect added has a 75% chance to place a 60% decreased defense debuff if the target is already under a heal reduction debuff. Okay, so yeah, basically he already does heal reduction on his A1, obviously. This is his A2, and it now has a 75% chance to place a 60% decreased defense debuff if the target's already under the heal reduction. It's definitely good. It is cool. I like that. Whisper, let's see if we can find her so we can compare what we're doing there. I don't actually have her on this account. So, Softening Dive, effect added, will also place a 30% increased crit rate buff on this champion, whereas currently it has a 50% chance of placing a 25% weakened debuff for 2 turns. So now you're going to get a crit rate buff on yourself on an A1, which is pretty solid actually. That allows you to keep it up a lot, especially if you're on a counter attack team. I mean, you can build it with lower crit, and yeah, that's not bad. It's not amazing. I don't think it's going to suddenly get a masses of play. The main things you could do is stack damage and whatnot. At least you can boost a bit of a damage if you can build it with lower crit, I suppose. Unyielding Flurry, cooldown increase from 5 from 6. Takes one enemy 2 times, grants an extra turn if the target is under decreased defense and weaken. So basically, what is her big money ability as such, which gives her an extra turn if the target is under decreased defense and weaken, which she doesn't bring the decreased defense, by the way, you've got to bring that yourself. Is now from 6 down to 5 and can be booked down to 4 then. It's good, it's not amazing. I still don't think it's going to see her suddenly getting masses of play everywhere. It's a buff. I don't think it's a great buff. Then we've got several champions will see changes to their behaviour in auto battles. You can find the comprehensive list below. Sifid Lost Bride will prioritise her whirlwind romance skill in clan boss battles. That's good. As far as I'm aware, it's the one that basically gives all the bonuses and everything to keep people up. Torrent Lexmore will prioritise its Hellfire Torrent skill in clan boss battles. Again, that one's not too bad. Shatterbones will prioritise his hail skill in the Fire Knight castle dungeon. Let's take a look at him just to see what that one is. There's actually one I don't have on this account as well. I know I've got one or two of them on my alt, but yeah, apparently I don't have them on this one. Right, so hail skill is attacks all enemies 3 times and has a 50% chance to decrease the target's turn meter by 30%. That's really solid in the clan boss. Obviously you've got the triple hit to help with the shield, plus his decrease in turn meter. It's a 50% chance that can be booked up to 75% chance. Obviously you can increase that if you take the right mastery by further 5%, getting it up to 80. It's on a 5-turn cooldown, 4 if booked, so he's going to make that his priority on the Fire Knight, which is good. Scylla the Drakes will prioritise her Wingbeat Flurry skill when there are 2 or more enemies alive. This one's kind of cool. It's her stun ability. She's going to prioritise it when multiple enemies are up. The only problem is you might find that you're in situations where she's your healer, reviver, you want her picking somebody up, and because there's multiple people up, she'll stun instead. It's probably not going to be the end of the world. We'll have to see how it plays out on auto battles, to be honest. And obviously if you're manualing, you're choosing what you do anyway, so yeah, we'll see. It might be good, it might be bad. War Mother will use her Mother's Touch skill on bosses the target as active bomb debuffs. It's the one that blows those debuffs up, so that's fine, that's cool. Mountain King will always prioritise targets with the block damage buff when using his Regal Force skill. It's basically the one that ignores block damage, so that makes sense, that's good. Warlord will no longer use his Orcish Ritual skill in clan boss battles. Again, that's the one that has no effect and actually drops turn meter and puts stuff on cooldown, which you can't do to the clan boss anyway, so that's all good. Robar will use his Wild Swing skill even if there is only 1 enemy alive, whereas previously he wasn't, so again that's good. Tyrell will prioritise his Humble skill when fighting the Fire Knight whenever the Cloak of Fire Shield is active. Again, it's basically his 2-hitter, so it means that he's just going to do more hits on the shield, which is good. Elenara will no longer use her Combust skill if the target has no poison debuffs. That's good. Previously she was trying to blow up stuff that she couldn't blow up. Xavier will no longer use her Deadly Catalyst skill if the target has no poison debuffs. This one I'm not a huge fan of. The reason being, Elenara's is different, it's just a blow up as far as I'm aware, whereas with Xavier it's also your block revive, so you may put her into an auto run like for Ice Golem's Peak, and you actually want her using that more often to try and block revive on the ads, but now if there's no poison on those ads, she's not going to do it. I mean, it's good and it's bad, because obviously it might even help us actually blow them up more, because she'll make sure she puts the poisons out first, and she won't try nuking them down until the poisons are on there, and because the poisons are on there and she blows them up, she'll do more damage, so it might actually help, but we'll have to see. It might actually mean that she does it even less than she already does, so we'll have to watch that one, just see how it goes. I think Maneater will target Scavag with his Siphon skill whenever fighting in the Spider's Den. Scavag, was that the name of the spider? Didn't even know she had a name, to be honest. So yeah, I mean that's cool. It basically that's his one that drops turn meter by 100%, steals it, whatever. So these are all good for the most part. I will say that I think the Xavier one needs watching. It may actually turn out to be a negative as opposed to a positive, but we will see on that one. Anyway, that's it for the update highlights. There are no more, I'm afraid, which is fine. We're going to find out about the champions in the near future. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think about this whole situation with hard nerfing the max HP champs? I myself have only recently managed to get Septimus on my alternate account, and I was looking forward to building him up and having that really help me with things like the spider. Obviously now that is not going to be a case. I haven't actually started building him yet there. I already do use him and have him built up on my main account. Obviously it's going to mitigate the benefit of champions like Coldheart and the like, which, you know, I like the way it is currently personally. I know it's a bit annoying trying to get them, but there are a good number out there. You know, if anything, I'd say just maybe introduce a few more max HP champions into the game to make it a little bit easier for some people to pull some. rather than doing this, because obviously we need fast runs, we need speed runs, so that we're not spending hours farming the game. But anyway, let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button. It lets YouTube know it's a good video and more people should watch it. And if you like my content, please hit the subscribe button and ding that bell, and you'll get notified next time I release a video. I'll catch you in the next video. I'm IceMan. Bye.